People were given an empty coffin. They were kept busy, disruptions, so that the body could be brought later. Because hao watu walikuwa bwana, wangechukua hata hiyo sanduku wakimbie nayo.
So we saw policemen sitting on top of the...
Yeah, that's when I knew Baba is not there. How can you sit on Baba's coffin?
Imagine, I was like, yo, okay.
Ati polisi kama sita umekalia coffin ya Baba ukalie. There is no police who could have accepted that. He's a king, bwana.
Then unamkalia kama...
Hey.
So it was a tactic.
Yes.
So they knew the guys would get to the runway. Uliona mduthi kwa runway wewe?
Yes, you let people vent their anger.
So the losses that, okay, they couldn't put like a barricade outside the airport. So
A barricade could make it worse. You know, Baba's people are less destructive when you let them, give them their way.
Yeah.
Just for letting them do their way, they will respect you for that. Lakini ukijaribu tu
Musipite hapa.
Waambia ati hapa sasa mpiti.
Wanakwambia sasa wacha tukupange.
That's where, so you let them, naona nduthi iko kwa runway imesimama karibu na Boeing. And again, I don't believe Baba's body could come in a civilian plane.
Yeah, that was also something I was like,
No. Ati intentionally wanapiga picha wakituonyesha sanduku ikikuwa loaded kwa plane. So that's where the attention is. But we didn't know that as Baba was being flown in, there was some military aircraft from India.
Probably landed in Wilton.
Yes. That's what carried the body.
Because a military plane is the one that took him to Kisumu.
Yes.
And then a military chopper to Mamboleo.
At what time did President Ruto announce that there will be a state funeral? On the same day, right?
Yeah.
Even before they flew to India. So what does that mean? If it's a state funeral, it's government to government. So President Ruto talks to Prime Minister of Narendra Modi on a government to government basis. So how then does he come in a civilian plane? It was necessary to keep the people busy.
Then put him on KQ. Pride of Africa. Sema ni ndege yetu.
Okay, for pride and prestige, okay, but for safety.
What was that was happening in at the parliament? Because the idea initially was people are gonna view it at parliament. So also nobody thought about and said, hey, parliament, maze, this is Baba. They didn't, because after parliament is now when they said, wait a minute, kidogo, muko wengi sana wacha sasa tuende Kasarani. So like it was developing every corner, something else shows up, information changes. Was that also intentional?
No, at some point, the government had never dealt with such a barrier. So the systems they have in place cannot accommodate this situation. And I remember on the political headache, on the same day I said, Baba can only be viewed in Kasarani, not in Nyayo. On the afternoon, because immediately I confirmed the news, I rushed to Karen, to Baba's place. So after I came from Karen, that's when I went to the podcast to pay my tribute to Baba. I said, Baba can only be viewed at Kasarani. Nyayo, Parliament. And the emotions were raw at that time. So I can cut them some slack. They were dealing with a very huge responsibility, controlling Baba's people.
Tough. Is that why policemen were shooting people and harassing people in Kasarani? What was that about?
That's bad.
Because people died. I think we lost, was it 4 lives?
But again, let me be insensitive kidogo. A person with Baba's stature does not go alone. They don't. The last biggest funeral was Wamalwa Kijanas.
Okay.
Do you know how many people died in that funeral? Just because of a stampede. A king is escorted. So should actually eulogize the people who died at Kasarani and every other place as soldiers who are escorting Baba to his final home. Some things are beyond human control. Because
For Kibaki, people didn't.
Kibaki was a retired president, and Kibaki was never mtu wa watu sana, ule mtu wa
People
euphoria
saw
mingi.
him when he's gone is when people are like, oh wow, so nice.
Yeah.
Moi
Moi was also not as big.
Moi wasn't as big as Baba.
Moi tulikuwa tuna drama ya Ruto kutafuta kuona mwili na hakuona. Aliionea, ilikuwa wapi? Aliionea kwake. Was it Kabarak? Because he went to Parliament.
Ruto.
Yes, he went to immediately after they announced that Moi had died. Ruto went there. He met Matiang'i. No, Matiang'i was not there. When Ruto was flying in, Matiang'i now, who was the chairman for the funeral, was there at the residence, but he left. So Ruto was told, Mzee, you can't see him, anafanyiwa sijui embalming. Even at Parliament, he didn't see him.
Why?
You remember the tension, the political arrangement of that time.
Okay.
So ilikuwa tu ni kuonyeshwa kwamba we are the ones in charge, not you.
What is that one thing that you would want Kenya and Kenyans to never forget about Baba?
Kenya must never forget his sacrifice. Baba thought about Kenya first before he thought about his community. He kept on saying that think as a Kenyan first before you think from the point of your community where you come from. And so I am seeing very foolish posts on social media. You know, I don't know whether to call them foolish or stupid. Very senseless posts. People saying, oh, Kikuyus, we hate Luos. Which Kikuyu hates Luos? You know, I get, such things. You know, it is such kind of thinking that Baba has been trying to eradicate. Baba akisema tunataka kupigana na maadui watatu wa binadamu: njaa, ugonjwa na ujinga. Hii ndio ujinga alikuwa anaongelea. Ujinga ya kusema you look at a post and you look at the comments very unrelated. Then mimi nikionanga post ya comment ya ujinga, I usually click on the profile nione huyo mtu ni nani. Unapata kuna followers 4.
Ama unaona na ka post yake.
Ama
some look like their post.
Okay. You click very foolish. Na kwanga wakati mwingine nimejaa nataka kureply, but when I see the profile and I understand.
You just block, it's easier. I understand that this stupidity.
No, wakati mwingine it's not on my post. Just
me, even if I see a stupid post on someone comment, sometimes me and even Nairobi Gossip Club, I see a very stupid, insensitive, I just go block that person. I don't need that stupidity around me. Wewe pambana na huko.
Because When you talk about tribalism,
Yes.
and you want to talk about how Luos and Kikuyus cannot work together, who is Raila Odinga's personal lawyer? Paul Mwangi. What's the name of his secretary? Somebody in Njeri. Pauline Njoroge was part of the secretariat to campaign for him to be AU chairman. Baba has mentored Moses Kuria, paid for his school fees. Moses Kuria has even slept in Baba's home. To an extent that sometime when Moses Kuria talked bad about Baba, and Baba was asked why he's not being angry about it, he said, no, Moses Kuria is my son. He's still learning. You know, that's a person you claim to support, and you are still harboring some stupid backward feelings that we hate this kind of a community. When you look at the friends of Baba, and I want to say this, hata watu wakikasirika wakasirike, some of the most genuine friends wa Baba walikuwa Wakikuyu.
SK Masharia.
SK Masharia
Jimmy
suspended
Wanjigi.
Advertisements for 3 days. Ever tangu watangaze kwamba Baba amekufa, it has been Baba all through. As a friend, Jimmy Wanjigi is a Kikuyu who is a friend and a family of Baba. Alafu mtu amelala kwa nyumba ya mabati, yani, oh, Wajaluo, oh, Wakikuyu. And whenever you see, I don't know if it's a disease of poverty or what, but the majority of the people with that kind of thinking have not gone anywhere.
That's true.
In this life. When you look at the other day, there was a quiet wedding where there was Uhuru Kenyatta, Gideon Moi, just a quiet wedding somewhere, very posh. When you look at the person marrying and the person being married, it is these tribes that are fighting. If they can be married up there, why do you think you should hate each other down here? It's the kind of direction we've been taken for so long, and we are not getting anything out of it. And for the respect of Baba, I will ask the Kenyan people, please stop being tribal.